connections from all over the world. We had Honduras, Sweden, New Jersey, Vermont, Wisconsin, Michigan. So we have this opportunity on a global platform to have water bring us together and share water stories. With our presenters, they will accept questions and answers in the chat function. So please open up your chat window, use Q&A for those questions, and we will either hear from the presenter when it's open time for questions or interject with questions and answers. So with that being said, thank you again. It's 1 o'clock. We're going to go live with Marion Nonglaton, and she is our 1 o'clock Eastern presenter. Use the hashtags MakeWave17, please, while you're tweeting out or using social media. Thanks, everybody.
Okay, hi everyone. So my name is Marion Nonglaton, like John said. I'm French and I have a WASH master degree. So I guess not many of you know what is WASH. So WASH stands for Water, Sanitation, and Hygiene Education. I have been working with Pure Water for the World 2 years in Honduras, and I am working with them now in Haiti. So I'm currently speaking to you from Haiti. So in Honduras, we've been designing a program in schools in a municipality called Trojes. So Trojes is right at the border with Nicaragua. It's a very rural place. As you may see in this picture, it's very rural. The access is only by dirt roads and can be really tricky during the rainy season. So what is Pure Water for the World, you might ask? So we're a nonprofit international NGO based out of Vermont in the US. And we have the aim to improve the health of children and families, providing water, sanitation, and hygiene education in rural and underserved area in Honduras and in Haiti as well. So as I've already heard about it in some of the previous presentations, you might understand that water, sanitation, and hygiene is really important in low-income countries because if kids are sick because of bad water quality, sanitation, or hygiene, then they cannot go to school. And if they cannot go to school, it's their whole education and thus their future that is affected. So educate the kids on how to treat their water, how to have a proper sanitation, and how to practice proper hygiene is really important. And there are a lot of programs around the world, and even us, we've been doing it this way in the past. Just going to school, teach the kids about water, sanitation, and hygiene, and then we go back. But this is a problem because what is going to happen to the next generation of kids? So we've been training kids once, and what is going to happen for the kids that are coming next year and the year after? So you can say that the solution is for the teacher to be trained and for the teacher to train the kids on a daily basis on hygiene. But some organizations have been doing that as well, and it hasn't really been successful. So we were wondering why. So because of that, we realized the study. We've been interviewing 33 teachers in Trojes, and we've been doing focus groups with kids in 10 different schools in order to understand what was going on. some results of this study showed that in general, kids have a good average knowledge on water, sanitation, and hygiene, meaning that it's mostly common sense that you have to be clean, that you have to treat your water. But one thing that we understood is that soap wasn't mentioned for hand washing. And this is because soap is not available in schools. And this reason is that the teachers don't have money to buy soap, and parents don't want to give money to the teachers for buying soap. So at the end, the kids, they don't have soap to wash their hands in school. So there's a really high need to involve the parents in the whole hygiene process in the schools. Another really important point that we've been facing is menstrual hygiene. So we made focus groups with girls from 5th and 6th grade, and all girls mentioned fear, nervousness, and skipping school whenever they have their period. And this is because they lack material, so they don't have menstrual pads, they don't have toilet paper, they don't have a trash bin to put their pads in, they don't have soap, or they don't have water supply to wash their hands after. And as you can see in this picture, it is a school toilet in one of the schools we've been visiting. So as you understand, the toilets that they have are, well, if they have a toilet first, and if they do have a toilet, the toilet is dirty, is at the end of the schoolyard, you have to pass through snakes or any other kind of animals to get there, there is no trash bin. So basically, girls, when they have their period, they just skip school. And this has a huge impact on their education. Do you imagine skipping 1 week a month because you have your period? That has an impact on your education and on your future, right? And another point is that the majority of girls, they didn't know about menstruation before their period comes. And this has an impact as well. Most of them, they're traumatized when their period comes. They don't know what's going on with their body, right? So there is a really high need on menstrual hygiene education in the schools. From the teacher's side, we realized that the majority of teachers, they already teach water, sanitation, and hygiene subjects in the class, but they would like materials for doing this education. They would also like time assignment, which means that the curriculum of Honduras really focuses on Spanish and on math, so they don't really have time outside of those two subjects to speak about WASH. They also like support of the parents. As I already talked about, parents are not willing to participate in any activities of the school, less if it involves money. And they would also like subjects on, they would also like knowledge, on 4 different subjects, which was the menstrual hygiene. Even women teachers say that they lack information and they would like support from a health practitioner for being able to teach those subjects. They also like knowledge on environmental hygiene, on water treatment, and on latrines. But the good thing is that all the teachers, they demonstrated the willingness to learn more about water, sanitation, and hygiene, and to learn new teaching methods as well. So from that, we decided to reinvent water, sanitation, and hygiene in schools, and mainly it was because we realized teachers don't have time, so we can teach them how to teach hygiene in school, but if they don't have time to do so, they will never do. So we realized that water, sanitation, and hygiene can be really easily integrated into Spanish and math. Let me give you an example. In math classes, instead of saying 1 apple plus 1 apple equals 2 apples, you can say 1 soap plus 1 soap equals 2 soaps. And you would say, well, this is really simple. But at the end of the day, when the kids come back and he only had soaps example in his math classes, he's gonna start to wonder why there's no soap in school, or why I don't have soap in my house. And he's going to ask his mother, his father, oh, we don't have soap in the house. But this was a really simple example. You can also use observational study on how many kids are washing their hands after they go to the toilet, and use it in statistics, for example. You can use text in Spanish classes, which are about washing yourself, washing your hands. And that can be really simple. So the aim was not to give extra work to the teacher. The aim was for them to develop a automatic way of integrating hygiene subjects inside math and Spanish. So we spoke to the educational district, and they were not willing to give us more than 3 days for that, because they don't want kids to skip school more than 3 days, which makes sense. So we developed a 3-day workshop for the teachers. So the main objective of this work was at the end to change behaviors in terms of hygiene, to involve the entire community in the project, to involve the parents, and thus to have health improvements for the students, for the teachers, but also for the entire community. And for developing this workshop, we had the help of a Canadian organization called COS. So it's the Center for Affordable Water and Sanitation Technology. So they're experts in water sanitation and hygiene education. They don't have any implementation projects. They just do teaching of other organizations. So they helped us a lot in developing this workshop. As well, we didn't want to just give a workshop to teachers and then leave them in the wild without any support. So because of that, during the workshop, we assigned one of our promoters to a teacher, and this promoter would call the teacher every week and ask them how the implementation is going, if they need some support, if they need some extra material, and it would do the follow-up with every teacher. And then 2 months after the workshop, this promoter would go to the communities and go in the school teacher and assist to 1 day of classes in order to see if the teacher is really implementing what he learned during the workshop, what he needs in terms of our support. We would do the same visits 5 to 6 months after the workshop, and then 8 months after the workshop, which would be by the end of the school year, we would do an interchange of experiences with all the teachers, where they would speak about what they've been implementing, what worked, what didn't work, and interchange a lot of ideas. And 1 year after the workshop, we would do the evaluation of the project inside the community to see if the health have been improving indeed. So we spent 7 days preparing this workshop. We had 3 of our promoters that are teachers by background, and we had the participation of 3 teachers who were volunteering with us for this. So this helped us a lot understanding the need of the teacher, the education, what can be done in a community, what cannot be done, the requirements from the Ministry of Education that they're facing. So we can say that this workshop were designed by teachers for the teachers. During the 7 days, we also tested all the activities. This is because the most effective methodology to teach behavior change in general is a participative methodology. So that means that we're using funny activities and any kind of activities that involve the entire body to teach hygiene education. So for example, one of the activities we've been designing is this one. So you have an egg, which is supposed to be boiled, but participants don't know about it. And the egg is held by different strings for participants. You can have 8, 9 participants around, and each participant, one by one, are gonna drop one string. So as you can imagine, once you have only 2 strings left, then the egg is dropping. You need at least 3 strings to hold the egg. And the method behind this activity is that for the school to be all together, you need the teacher, you need the students, and you need the parents. So if the parents are dropping, for example, the whole school is dropping. So this is an example of one activity we've been doing with the teachers for them to really understand the importance of involving the parents in every school project. So the workshop focused on several points. The first point were the knowledge that the teachers were lacking. So that was environmental hygiene, that was also water treatment, that was a type of latrine or waterborne diseases. But also, as I said before, puberty hygiene. We decided to call it puberty hygiene because the teacher said something to us about the fact that not only girls have issues with their menstruation, but a lot of young boys have infections due to the fact that they don't know really how to wash themselves, and they don't know all the changes that they're going through puberty. And they said it was really high need in the rural communities of Honduras. So we decided to call it puberty hygiene and to integrate boys as well. So this is a picture of the puberty hygiene lesson that we had. So the aim was to draw a girl, and then they would have to draw all the changes that are going on to puberty. So yeah, you have all the changes, voice is changing, hips are growing, breasts are growing as well, and then they would explain the hygiene related to it. Then obviously we said that the most effective way of teaching hygiene is achieving the students' active participation. So if the student is active in class, he's going to learn more about it. And then a big part of the workshop obviously was how to integrate hygiene inside the different school subjects. We also been seeing that even though the teachers had been to university, they studied education, they really don't know how to do lesson plans properly, so we also focused on this. And then we also wanted them to integrate hygiene in a longer period of time, not just only every day, but on a weekly and monthly plan. They would have to integrate hygiene as well. And then we would teach them methods to involve the parents in many activities of the school. So during the whole workshop, we had really good ideas and suggestions coming from the teachers. So as we were doing activities, teachers would suggest activities that they were already doing in their school, which were not really related to hygiene, but we asked them to modify their activities and to apply them to hygiene subjects. So we had really funny activities around hygiene that could be done. This one, the one on the left-hand side, was a teacher. She had a lot of funny activities that she's doing in the morning before entering classes with her kids. And this was a song where kids are moving and practicing a bit of sports before entering the class. And the song wasn't about hygiene at the beginning, but she made really quickly, she applied it to hygiene subjects, how to wash yourself in the morning, how to brush your teeth. So that was on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, the guy in red is a teacher. He has really great activities as well, and one of them was a poem that he would repeat with the kids in the morning as well, on how they have to brush their teeth, brush their hair, wash themselves, and wash their hands before going to eat. So I have a video of this. Let me try. Okay. So you can see the video of the poem here. Pretty slow. So you can see how people, it can be it was just few seconds, and this can have a huge impact because the kid is gonna come back home with the song in his head and is gonna practice it the morning after. So we had really great feedback from the teacher. I'm gonna read to you some of them. So one said, excellent workshop, really high importance. Was dynamic and participative. I learned how to integrate hygiene inside the different subjects of the curriculum. This was another activity that we had. So basically you had two teams, and you have to make rhymes with hygiene objects. So then once someone doesn't find a rhyme, then he loses. So that was another great activity that we had. The educational district heard about the first workshop that we've done, and they asked us to do a second workshop 6 months after this. And so this is a picture of the second group of teachers that we've been teaching within that Loma. We had great votes about this workshop as well. Someone said, all together we can build another way of learning. And two were really surprised, saying, oh, we can teach these subjects in a really subtle way. Or I didn't know it was that easy to include hygiene subjects in all the classes. And I have a video about the second workshop as well. This was another activity that we've been doing, and that was a suggestion from one teacher as well. So yeah, you can see it can be really funny, and it can be really funny to implement hygiene inside your classes to make funny activities. So now if you're listening to me from a school, you know you can make some games about hygiene, or if you have kids, you can teach them hygiene with funny songs as well. We have great success stories about this workshop. One of them is a really great teacher. Her name is Raquel Diaz. She's been giving us a lot of suggesting ideas about activities that we could be doing with kids. And after, so this is a picture of her doing the puberty hygiene lesson in our first workshop. So after the workshop, what she's been doing is she's been implementing a school hygiene bank in her school. So basically, instead of asking money for buying toilet paper, soaps, or hygiene objects, she asked every parent at the beginning of the year to buy 2 toilet paper roll, a soap, and a bag of flooring. And with this, she would like lock all the items in the school, and then she would hold the whole year with those objects. And this was a great success because the parents, they don't see as them giving money, but them giving things that their kids are going to be using. And it's not a lot of money to spend at the beginning of the year, and it's just once. And she would use it all year long. So that was a great idea. Another really great idea she had was to install a school passport. So the passport would be a piece of trash. So she would wait at the entrance of the classroom, and after any break, any school break, or before entering into classes, she would ask every kid to have a piece of trash to put in the trash bin in order to be able to enter the classroom. And what she said is that at the beginning, she would have, the 3 first months, she would have to be all the time in front of the door asking for the piece of trash. But by the end of the 3 months, what she realized is that sometimes she was forgetting, and the kids themselves were remembering her, oh, teacher, you forget about the passport today. And every kid would come with a piece of trash. And after a certain period of time, what she has seen is that the entire community has been more and more clean. So at the beginning, kids would just pick up a piece of trash from the schoolyard, but then the schoolyard was clean, so they had to bring a piece of trash from their way to school, and then they just had to take a piece of trash from around their home. So the entire community is becoming cleaner and cleaner thanks to the school passport. And this is something she's been sharing with all the teachers during the exchanges of experiences. And a lot of teachers are now implementing the school passport in their schools as well. The last great activity that she's been doing is related to one issue in rural Honduras, which is that in most of the communities, school is going until 6th grade. And if you want to go to 7th grade, you have to walk 2, 3, 4 hours more every day to get to the school for 7th grade. A lot of kids are dropping school when they reach 6th grade. And what happens is that they drop school at 6th grade, quickly they get married, they start to have kids, make a family. So she wanted to prevent it. And the way she did it, so she did a workshop asking the kids to realize a 15-pound sand doll. And the day after, she would take the kids to the furthest house in the community. So as you see in the first picture I saw you, in rural Honduras, sometimes you have to walk a lot in between houses. And basically the house she took the kids to was about a 2-hour hike. So she took the kids with the 15-pound doll on a 2-hour hike. And when she arrived at the house, she told them, well, if you drop school after your 6th grade, and if you drop school after your 6th grade and you get married and have kids, this is what you're going to have to do, carry a baby until your house. And so most of the kids, they were really surprised. Oh, I didn't know a baby was that heavy, that was that difficult to carry a baby. And she succeeded that 100% of the kids from 6th grade went up to 7th grade. So that was a really great story. Another really great story we had, she is called Vanessa Duran, and she's been really involved in our community. So in our community, the school was in really bad state, and then during a storm, the roof and a part of the school went away. So they had to go to a neighbor's house to be able to give the classes. So then they were looking for some funding to realize a new school. They came to us after water saying, oh, we really need a new school. We don't have any money for this. But we're a water and sanitation organization. We couldn't do this. But finally, we found the way to help them. But the issue in this community is that they don't have rocks for building for porches. So she would stay at the entrance of the community and ask any person entering the community to come with a rock. And no one could enter the community without a rock. So that's how she succeeded the school to be built. And thanks to this, she's really trusted by all the parents in the community. And that's the way she succeeded to have a purity hygiene workshop in the community. So as you may know, in rural places, purity hygiene, menstrual hygiene is really badly viewed. It's a really big taboo because parents tend to relate it with sexuality when it's just a hygiene matter. So what she would do every first Wednesday of the month, she would have a workshop with fathers and boys, and then with mothers and girls. And so this way, parents could really see what is being taught to their kids and really see that it's not about sexuality, but it's about hygiene. And in this way, parents could also learn about puberty hygiene or menstrual hygiene, men's hygiene too. So she's been doing that for years. Every month she would have the workshop with fathers and boys and with women and girls about puberty hygiene. And all of this brought us a great success because 1 year after the first workshop, the Ministry of Education heard about the workshop that we were doing, and they decided to do a green school project, that's the way they call it, and it's basically about including water, sanitation, hygiene, and environment into the Honduran school curriculum. So it's a really great step for all Honduran schools that is coming. So I thank you for your attention, and I'm going to take any questions. Okay.
We would certainly welcome any school to have ask questions. We'd really like to see some students on camera. So if possible, can you, if you've got questions for Marion, please, let's try to get you on camera and microphone to have a little bit of interaction. Are there any schools with any questions? Thank you so much, Marion, for the presentation.
You're welcome.
We might have shy students not popping in.
Okay.
We have plenty of people online, but it doesn't look like anybody's stepping up to the plate for Q&A.
I have a question. Hi, Marion.
Hi.
Great presentation. Thank you very much. One question. Do you know if they have been keep using this method in the school after you left?
Yes, yes, they have. So we've been doing a interchange of experiences. So we've been meeting with all the teachers together, and they would interchange their ideas, what they've been implementing. And for example, I give you the example of the school passport, which was a piece of trash. And so a lot of teachers are now implementing the school passport as well.
Great. That's great news. Thanks.
Well, we'll leave it open for another minute or so, but again, just a reminder, thank you for joining Ripples Make Waves. We have 2 hashtags we're asking you to use today. One is hashtag World Water Day, which is a trending topic, be part of it. And the other is hashtag Make Wave 17. So if you're participating in Ripples Make Waves, we'd like to have you use the hashtag Make Wave 17. That being said, I don't see, Marion, any classrooms chiming in. You must have been too thorough of a presentation. And I want to thank you very much for being part of the inaugural Ripples Make Waves.
Thanks to everyone who's been listening.
So coming up at the top of the hour, we have another presentation. And that presenter, actually that session will be in Spanish. So we have a Spanish speaking session at 2 o'clock Eastern. And it's an interesting topic. It's bringing together traditional technology on how to save a lake in Guatemala, which is Lago Atilan. So stay tuned, hang around here. Please enter your location in the chat box, in the chat window. We sure like to know where you're from. We certainly can open up microphones between presentations as well. We'd love to hear from you guys. So hashtag World Water Day, hashtag Make Wave 17. I'm Joan with Ripples Make Waves. I'm going to mute and we'll see. I'm paying attention, so chime in the chat box. But we'll be back at the top of the hour with a Spanish speaking session. Thanks, everybody. Hey everybody, it's Joan with Ripples Make Waves. I'm in Flint, Michigan at Mott Middle College, and I'm just giving you a heads up that we'll start in about 15 minutes. And we have a Spanish session on the calendar, on the time. So it will be for Spanish speaking and understanding audiences. We'll certainly take questions as always, but in about 15 minutes we'll get started.
Joanne, hi there.
Yep.
Could you make presenter to Cindy so we try to share the screen?
Okay, Carla is our host at present.
Okay.
So Carla, if you could pass the baton to Cindy.
Thank you very much. Now, Cindy, ¿me oyes? Cindy?
I just unmuted her. She should be able to speak. Yes, there she is.
Thank you, Carla. Hola, Cindy.
Hola, Sarita, ¿me escuchas?
Te escucho y te veo, todavía mejor. Perfecto. Vamos a intentar compartir la pantalla. ¿Quieres?
Perfecto.
Vale. Ahora eres presentadora, así que abre la presentación en tu ordenador, en el computador, ¿sí? Dale. Ve a la parte que pone Quick Start. ¿Te salen 3 iconos en el centro de la pantalla?
Sí.
Dale a Share Screen, al del medio.
¿Listo?
Ahí está. Ya estamos viendo tu presentación.
Yo no la veo. Vamos a ver.
Pero en realidad estoy viendo tu escritorio, no tu presentación.
Ya, entonces, ¿cómo hago para que veas el...
Ahora,
Ajá.
lo que tú veas en la pantalla es lo que voy a ver yo. Ahora veo unas fotos tuyas muy chulas en unas ruinas. Ahora.
¿Y ahora?
Ahora sí. Haz grande la pantalla.
¿Cómo?
Amplía la presentación, que sea de pantalla completa.
¿Ahora?
Ahí está, perfecto.
Perfecto. Bueno. Ok. Ya.
Ya estás lista para presentar. Oh, qué bonito es el lago, ¿eh?
Sí. Ustedes me indicarán cuando inicie. Se hace
Sí.
más tranquila que ya fui antes. Todo más
Perfecto. Ahora nos oye todo el mundo de todas formas, ¿vale?
Ya.
Debía habértelo dicho antes. Voy a cerrar micrófonos, descansa, tienes 10 minutitos y empezamos, ¿vale?
Perfecto, está bien.
Muy bien.
Por tu ayuda. Gracias.
Nada, a ti. Para los que nos estén escuchando en español, Cindy va a presentar sobre la tradición y la tecnología para la conservación del lago Atitlán y va a hablar sobre las tradiciones mayas y cómo han incluido eso en el proyecto. Así que seguid con nosotros y en 10 minutos empezamos, ¿vale? Cindy,
Sí.
desconecta tu pantalla
Voy.
y tu vídeo si quieres mientras tanto.
Muy bien. Solo voy a ver dónde está.
Es que está tu escritorio. Dale a dejar de stop sharing. Vale, perfecto. Venga. Cindy, desconecta el micrófono, por favor. Perfecto. Gracias.
Hey, everybody who's logged in. It's Joan with Ripples Make Waves, Adventure Kids Learning. In about 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes, we'll get started with our next presentation. It is a presentation in Spanish, so just so you're forewarned. I also want to remind you about hashtags if you're using social media today. Hashtag World Water Day is the official World Water Day for United Nations Water, and hashtag MakeWaves17 is the hashtag for Ripples Make Waves. So shortly, in about 5 minutes, pardon my voice, we have the Spanish-speaking presentation by Cindy de Leon. She's talking about how tradition and technology will come together for water conservation, for lake conservation in Guatemala. So stay tuned. Always like to hear. We see a shout out from Omaha, Nebraska in the chat menu. Great to have you on board, Megan McCrory. If you could put your locations in the chat menu, we like seeing where everybody's from. So thanks for joining us. Stay tuned in about 5 minutes.